Yeah, draw the all the four structures of the anel now. We'll discuss how the positive resonance effect occurs. Okay, then I'll explain to you. First draw the figure, then I'll explain to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tanisha, did you send the applied maths portions?
I'm saying, sir.
Okay. Okay, done, Vijay?
Sir.
Yeah. Okay, now in this case,
Yes,
positive resonance effect plus R effect. You know, why is plus R effect? Because it gets a plus sign to it, isn't it? So if it gets a plus sign, so how does it happen? Now you first figure, if you see there is two lone pair of electrons in the nitrogen, then you have a single bond with the carbon, and carbon tetravalency is done now. Correct? Now the lone pair of electrons comes to the, you know, in the single bond, it forms a double bond here. So this nitrogen gives this electron to the carbon, so it forms a double bond, and the nitrogen acquires a positive charge now. Since the first carbon atom got the, you know, tetravalency done, so what happens? The other carbon atom takes the electrons and, you know, move, keep it itself. Got it? Now once it takes the electron, this become carbon. This second carbon atom, sorry, in the ortho position, the carbon atom which you see, that's negative charge is there. Can you see the negative? And two electrons are there, negative charge. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes, so the carbon has acquired because double bond has got broken from there, the carbon taken the electron, so it becomes a carbanion. So negative ions, you know, negative sign comes here because two electrons are there now. Now, what happens? This electron can form the easily bond with the third carbon atom now. I'm just counting from the, you know, anti-clockwise direction I'm going as per the figure. So second carbon atom to third carbon atom. So basically from that electron which is extra, I can form the double bond with the third carbon atom. That's what it's showing now. And then negative charge will get shifted to another carbon atom. Can you see the fourth position? The carbon atom has the negative position in the third diagram.
Yeah.
And then similarly same thing will happen. Again this forms a double bond, and then it'll go to this fourth carbon atom, you know, carbon atom which has the extra electron, that will go to the fifth carbon atom, and between 4 and 5 again the double bond gets established, and then from 5th to 6th carbon that double bond gets broken and the negative ions get shifted to that place. So it keeps rotating now. So again once it comes to negative charge, then again this carbon, you know, electron goes here to carbon, it forms a single bond, that again the lone pair of electrons comes to the nitrogen. So this is the resonance structure. This is the resonance effect which creates a positive charge on the nitrogen. Understood? Any questions? Any doubts?
Yes. No, sir.
Okay, now draw the negative resonance effect, R effect on this part now. Nitrobenzene you draw, then I will tell you. Okay, so numbers, quantification, numerical application, algebra, mathematical region, calculus, probability, descriptive statistics, basic standard, financial mathematics, coordinate geometry. Okay, so only 6 parts is there, right? Oh, this part, yeah. Whereas you don't have the binomial thing. This is for the first. No, this is for the unit test point of view telling, or is the entire syllabus?
No, sir. Entire, sir.
Acha, entire. Okay, okay. Because mathematical.
So I don't have the. Yeah, I don't.
Your voice is breaking.
So I told her I don't have the first term one. I'll ask the teacher and send it to you.
Okay, okay. So this is what you are going to get the full syllabus in the coming exam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's written internal assessment down, right?
So I'll just confirm again and tell
Okay.
it to you by evening.
Yeah, because I remember there are still some more chapters are there in that, because other commerce guys who are from the NPS, they also have the applied maths, and they have the bigger chapter list. Got it?
Okay, so I'll just confirm it.
Yeah, you also confirm from there, because it looks very small. The number of chapters are very less. You know? Okay, no problem. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, let's go to the part now. Number 1 in numerical application, algebra, mathematical reasoning, calculus, probability, descriptive analysis, financial coordinate geometry. Okay. So let's go to you have got a book with you?
No, sir, I don't have it. I'll
You don't have
get
book.
it.
Okay, no problem. So probability is common, calculus is also common, mathematical reasoning is you have a separate book for it. Algebra is common, but numbers, quantification, numerical applications it is again there in the applied maths book. So I think let me just check. I guess I'll have the book. I'll send it to you because the figure. I have the book.
Okay, sir.
Maybe you need to use that book. NCERT book. I'll send. Chapter 8. Applied chemistry, not applied chemistry, applied maths.
So,
Yeah. Done?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's understand this part now. In this case now, negative resonance effect minus R effect now. This is nitro group, NO2 group, okay? So NO2 group is also known as the electron withdrawing group. This nitro group is also known as the electron withdrawing group. Okay, how does it takes down the electron from the benzene now? Let's try to understand first, because nitrogen forms the one double bond with oxygen, one with the single bond with the oxygen. So because it has a lone pair of electrons, so it can give one lone pair of electron to oxygen. And now we already have two bonds with the oxygen and one with the another oxygen. Now in this case, since the nitrogen needs an electron, so since the nitrogen has given electron to oxygen, so it needs electron, so it takes the electron from the carbon which is next to it. Because the nitrogen is more electronegative than the carbon, so it takes the electron from it and forms the double bond with the first carbon atom. Got it?
Okay.
Now what happens? The second carbon atom
Yes, got it.
acquired the slight positive charge because this carbon has given the electron to another carbon atom, so that the nitrogen can form the double bond with that. Correct? First what happens, oxygen is highly electronegative, so oxygen takes the electron to it, so it forms a single bond. Because of this forming single bond, nitrogen has to form the double bond with the first carbon atom, and in order to do so, the second carbon atom has to give its electron to another carbon atom, so that's why it develops a slight positive charge. Got it? In order to satisfy the positive charge, so again this between the third and the fourth carbon atom, the double bond gets broken and forms the double bond with the second and third carbon atom, and the plus sign gets shifted to the bottom now. Whenever the double bond gets broken, because some carbon is giving the electron to it, so that's why it acquires a positive charge. Got it? And in order to satisfy the positive charge, again another double bond will get broken, so that the positive charge will remove and positive charge will get shifted to the fifth carbon atom, and that's how it gets repeated. Clear? So this is called the negative R effect. Why is negative R effect? Because nitro group, all the NO2 group, if you see, the resonance is happening with the oxygen, which is the negative. All the time the oxygen has a negative charge on the NO2. That's why it's called the electron withdrawing. Because of this, what happens? It tries to take the electron from the benzene. Got it?
Okay.
Now write down which causes the plus R effect and which causes the minus R effect. So this we need to remember this part. Got it? Write down this part. Okay, so where is that? Tanisha, I'll just share you this part. Okay, this is one of the 8 chapters on the applied maths.
Okay, sir.
So you already had the conversation with your teachers in that school?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I sent you the book. Did you get?
Not yet.
Got it?
No, sir.
Not there, no? Oh, okay. I think it was there in different place. So no problem. I'll just send you here on, let's say, chapter 8. NCERT Applied Math chapter 8. Chapter 8. Punchko. Lesson 8, chapter 8. What is this? Chapter 8, right? Deleted for me, Tanisha. Maybe I'll send you later this part. Okay. So let's start some other thing. I don't have, I guess, because it was there in my old phone, so it is not there right now. No problem. I think we can go ahead with the next chapter. So which chapter you want to do it? Calculus is there for you, limits and derivatives, and mathematical regional number classification algebra. So shall we do from the calculus part? Because calculus is only.
Okay, sir.
Yeah? So what I'll do? Okay. So yeah, calculus is any present in the book for you. This is the part of your thing. So let's go to the limits and derivatives calculus. You open the chapter limits and derivatives now. Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is there for you now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chapter 13 is there now. Fine. The initial, okay. So what is the idea of time limits and derivatives? Let's try to understand this part. Okay. So we have the table. Let's understand the table first. 13.1. Go through this table now. There's just a distance and time table. Okay, distance covered and with a certain time interval. Just go through this table and now find out the velocity. Got it? Go to the table 13.1 and table 13.2. Yes. Let's try to understand this table. You don't have to draw it, but first we understand this table, then I'll explain to you. Because we are going to the initial foundation for the limits and derivatives. So in order to that, we just need to understand this table 13.1 and table 13.2. Just go through this table now. You have written down? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. So plus R effect is created by the halogens. Plus halogen group, OH group, OR group, OCOR, NH2, NHR, and NR2, NHCOR. We'll understand all these things in one by one in detail. And minus R is COH, NO2, CHO, and all carbonyl compounds are all there, and the cyanide and the NO2 group. Clear this part?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now what is called conjugated system? Let's try to understand. The presence of alternate single and the double bonds in open chain or cyclic system is termed as a conjugated system. Got it? Conjugated system means alternate, you have the single and the double bonds in that. Clear? Alternate single and double bonds is there, that's called the conjugated system. The system often shows the abnormal behavior. The examples are 1,3-butadiene, aniline, nitrobenzene, etc. in such a system. And pi electrons are delocalized and the system develops a polarity. That's fine. So pi electrons are delocalized and the system develops a polarity, because in conjugated system what happens is, since there is alternate single and the double bonds, there is possibility of delocalization of the pi electron. Or pi electrons, when we talk about it, we are talking about the double bonds. Got it? Because anyway single bond, so you have a sigma bond. Got it? Now let's go to the electromagnetic effect or E effect. What is called electromagnetic effect or E effect? So let's try to understand first this part. Okay? Draw the figure which is present right now here. I'll just want you to draw this figure and then I'll explain to you.
Okay.
This figure where the reagent attacks the double bond. Reagent attacks the double bond. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, Danisha, did you understand what's happening in the table 13.1 and table 13.2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did you observe?
So in table 13.1, so basically they're finding the average velocity between the two time intervals.
Okay.
So it's taken distance traveled at T2 and T1. So subtracting those two both and divided by T2 minus T1, which is the time intervals.
Correct. Yes, absolutely correct. So based on the table 13.1, you have derived the 13.2. Clear? Understood? Now.
Yes, sir.
Good. So basically we want to find the velocity with respect to time. So at time t is equal to 0, you have velocity is 9.8 meter per second. Correct? Because
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So at 1 second, the velocity is 14.7. So basically we are giving the distance divided by time we are finding, and then we are plotting in the figure table 13.2, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Next. Now this part is fine because we are distance by time we are done. Next part. I want to reduce the time to the smallest value now. Till here you see the time is basically 0, 1, 1.5, 1.8 like that it's going till 2. Between 0 to 2 you have so many divisions are there. So basically we are actually minimizing the time now. We are basically reducing the time to the maximum extent, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Good. Now we know that velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement, right? Now how do we do that? Let's try to understand using this method now. Draw the figure 13.1. Draw the figure 13.1. Draw the figure 13.1, then I'll tell you what does it mean here.
Done.
Okay, good. Next, now in the electromagnetic effect means what happens? Electromagnetic effect is good. So whenever you see that there is a double bond between the carbon atom, there is an attacking reagent. So attacking reagent is basically has to attack the carbon bond now. Okay, so in the electromagnetic effect, because of this reagent, his reagent wants to form the bonds with one of the carbon atom. So in that process, the double bond which the two carbon atoms are sharing, so one of the carbon takes its electrons to itself now. When the double bond gets broken, whatever the electrons were there with the carbon atom, that is being taken by the first carbon atom, and the another carbon atom looks like it has given the electron to the carbon, so that's why it develops a slight positive charge. Okay, and then the attacking reagent which was there, which is plus H, it is plus H means this is the or protonated ions, acid which gives you the protonated ions. So this protonated atom, what it will do, it will attack the carbon which is the more of the electrons in that, so that it can form the bond with that carbon atom. Got it? Because since it is H plus ions, it needs the one electron to form the bond. Got it? Understood this part? So
Yes, sir.
So it forms the bond with single bond with the carbon atom, and then another carbon atom develops a slight positive charge in that, because its tetravalency is not getting satisfied there. That's why plus sign is there. Got it? That's why it's called the electromagnetic effect. That means the movement of the electrons effect, the positive electromagnetic effect. In this effect, the pi electrons in the multiple bonds are transferred to that atom in which the reagent gets attached. So basically, pi electrons which is there in the one between the two carbon atoms, that goes to the another carbon atom. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now we'll go to the negative electromagnetic effect. Draw the second structure now. You drawn the figure, Tanisha? 13.1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's understand what and all you can see in the 13.1. Right.
So is the distance axis and time axis,
Correct.
and then so it's like basically they have found the speed from the distance time graph,
Yeah.
and
Excellent. Perfect, Danisha. So you got it now. So this graph, basically with the graph, whatever you see, the graph 0, O, A, B2 and B1, this is the graph of the distance versus time. Fine. Distance versus time. So this looks like a curve, right? Now, as you want to find the velocity means will be given as the slope of the line. So first you are taking the 2 points at A and B1. A, B1. A, B1 is the slope. A, B1 basically you want to find that because the time is, you have taken time at 2 seconds and then it is 2 plus T1. So it goes to the B1 now. So we find the slope now. So what will be the slope? Slope will be B1 C1 by A C1, vertical distance by horizontal distance. Correct? Now you reduce the time. When you reduce the time, what happens? 2 plus T2. You get to the next point is called B2. Now AB1 length is is bigger than the AB2, no?
yes, sir.
No, good. So now you can still find the slope using AB2 now. Correct? Now, as we come closer to the time, as we come closer to the 2 seconds, then you see there is a single line, single blue line which is touching only at one point, that is A. That's not a secant, that becomes a tangent.
Okay, sir.
So speed or the instantaneous speed at the point A is called the derivative of this graph at point A. You can write down this part. The speed of the distance time graph at the point A will be given by the slope of the line or slope of the tangent at the point A. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Understood? Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Excellent. Just write down these things, whatever I told you, and then we'll go to the limits part, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Vijay, are you done this part?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, now in this case what's happening? Negative electromagnetic effect. Now, here the attacking reagent is changed now. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Earlier attacking reagent has the plus ions in that. Now attacking reagent has the negative ions on that. That's the cyanide ions. Cyanide basically it's a negative ion, correct? This can attack the nucleus which has the positive charge on that because it has extra electron. No, it can give to the nucleus and forms the bond with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Now in this case you see the process remains the same for the previous and the now. The only thing that happens is this attacking reagent is going to attack the carbon which has the positive charge on that. Previously reagent was attacking the nucleus which has the more electrons with it, correct? That is mostly like an electrophile, isn't it? Now this becomes a nucleophile. Now this carbon atom becomes a nucleophile here, correct? Now the cyanide ions will go and attack the carbon atom which has the positive charge and it can give the electron, forms the bond with that carbon atom. Now resulting in the form of the negative electromagnetic effect on the other carbon atom. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Any questions and doubts? So when the inductive and the electromagnetic effects operate in the opposite directions, the electromagnetic effect predominates. Basically what we are between the inductive effect and the electromagnetic effect. So electromagnetic effect is the more powerful than compared to the inductive effect. Inductive effect is generally taken in the same bonds, you know, slight positive and slight negative charge which gets. But the carbon which has taken the more electrons, and they get the charge because of the exception of the electrons, that has the more effect. Right? That is more powerful than the inductive effect. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the hyperconjugation now. Hyperconjugations. To understand the hyperconjugations, let's understand the orbital diagram showing the ethyl cations. Now in the ethyl cation, what happens? Draw the figure 12.4a.
Okay, sir.
Sir, done.
Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Excellent. Now, in the limits, you drawn the figure. Okay, this you have written, right? Okay. Now we'll go to the limits now. Okay, now I want you to write down this, the function we have, the f is equal to, consider the function f of x is equal to x square. You know?
Okay, sir.
Now, the value of f(x) moves from towards the 0 in the chapter 2. We say that f of x is equal to x, so limit is 1. Okay, that's fine. So, limit, yeah. We'll try to understand from this part now. Okay. F of x is equal to x square, so h of x is okay. No, here is not given. Fine. First, write down the function f of x, limit x tends to 0, f of x equal to 0. Okay, so I want you to write this function.
So limit x extends to 0, f of x is equal to 0, that one?
Yeah. I sent you this part. I'll tell you the meaning here. What is the meaning here for this? So that your understanding is clear. You written now limit x tends to 0, f of x equal to 0, right? So basically what it mean here is, so limit x tends to 0 meaning is the x is tending to 0. Basically x is, you know, coming towards closer to the value of 0. That means what? X can be 0.000001, or it can be 0.005, 0.004, 0.003. So basically we are close, we are coming very close to the 0, right?
Okay, sir.
So you are
Yes, sir.
tending towards a 0. So what happens to the f of x value? Is it also,
So it will,
yeah, because since the function is f of x is equal to x square, it's also tending towards a 0. Basically, that also gives you the value 0. So that means this time we can say that limit x tends to 0, f of x is also equal to 0, because it is reaching towards a 0 only. Clear?
yes, sir.
Okay, this part is fine because this part was pretty straightforward only. Now let's understand the other part. I want you to do this second part, because here the maximum learning will be there in the figure 13.2. Write down the figure 13.2 and then we'll draw the h of, okay, you have the function h of x is equal to x square minus 4 by x minus 2. Write down
Yes,
this
sir.
function and draw the figure 13.2. From here we'll try to understand now.
Okay.
You got it now? The function is h of x is equal to x square minus 4 and you draw the figure. Yeah, draw the figure 13.2. So we'll try to understand through this. Yes, done this part. Okay, you draw the figure. Fine. Now let's understand what is called hyperconjugation. Now hyperconjugation is general stabilizing interactions. Okay, so it involves the delocalization of the electrons of the CH bond of an alkyl group directly attached to the atom of the unsaturated system or to an atom with the unshared p orbital. Good.
Okay.
So in the sigma electron, the sigma electrons of the CH bond of the alkyl group enter into partial conjugation with the attached unsaturated carbon system with the unshared p orbital. The hyperconjugation is a permanent effect. So what we are saying here is, so excuse me, yeah, so whenever the hyperconjugation case, a delocalization of the sigma electrons, that means single bond electrons will happen for the CH bond, which is directly attached to the unsaturated carbon atom. That means it is connected to the second carbon atom, which has the double bond with another one. Got it? Which forms a double bond with the another carbon atom. So between the CH single bond and the another carbon atom which has a double bond, in that there you can see the hyperconjugation will happen. How it happens? Let's understand that. The sigma electrons of the CH bond of the alkyl group enters in the partial conjugation with the attached unsaturated system or with the unshared p orbital. So hyperconjugation basically becomes a permanent effect. Now in the case of ethyl example, let's try to understand ethyl example, what happens now. In this, whatever you have drawn here is between the C and first carbon atom and the H, you see there is a sigma bond, or that's H is there in the carbon, there's a single bond is there, right? So carbon is in the sp3 hybridized state, and this carbon atom which has the positive ion on the carbon atom, right? So how does it stabilize now? So basically since it is a plus carbon atom, what happens now? This carbon atom got the plus sign because now the possibility of forming the double bond between the because this is in the sp2 hybridized state, this carbon atom is sp2 hybridized state, so that's why you have the p orbital there. So once you have the p orbital, there is a possibility of forming the double bond between the CH and the another C bond, another CH. Got it? So that's called the hyperconjugation. That is called the hyperconjugation because CH bond can form the another pi bond with the p orbitals of the another carbon atom. So that's why it's called the hyperconjugations. Now how does it happen? We will try to understand in this part. So this part is the geometrical representation, how we are forming the double bond between the two carbon atoms. One carbon atom is connected to the hydrogen, another is with the carbon which has the positive ions on it. Clear? Because of this positive ions, the hydrogen, the single bond of the hydrogen will get broken and it forms a double bond with the other carbon atom. That is called the hyperconjugation. Understood? Now this will be more clear in the second figure. Draw for the ethyl structure now. In the structural representation it will be more clear to you, but that was the geometrical representation we told you. Now we'll form the structural representation. Draw the structural representation, it will be more clear to you.
Okay.
Done, Tanisha?
Yes, sir.
Now look at this. H of x function is x square minus 4 and x minus 2, and we want to find the limit now. We want to find the limit when x tends to 2.
Yes, sir.
What will happen when x is tending towards a 2?
So it will come near to 2.
No. It will come near to 2 or near to what? Near to 2 anyways. Yes, correct. Limit x tends to it will come near to the x-axis of 2. What exactly as? Now look at this part now. When you put x is equal to 2 in the, x has 2 in the numerator and denominator, what will you get now? 0 by 0.
Yes, sir.
That's undefined.
Yes, sir.
But when you give the value something like 2.1 or 1.9, then you will get some positive value only, because 1.9 minus 2 and 1.9 square minus 4, you will get minus a positive value only, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
When you put x equal to 0, you still get some positive value only. So that's why the graph shows here is minus 2 comma 0. There is a line which is going there, and you see there is an empty circle there at
Yes,
the point 2 comma 0.
Yes, sir.
Why it is empty circle? Because this function is not defined at the x is equal to 2. So because we don't know what can be at x equal to 2. Whenever you are not sure what will happen at x equal to 2, so that's why you represent it as a empty circle, because when the x is reaching towards a 2, h of x is unsure. You don't know what will be the value.
Okay, sir.
But after 2, it is fine. It is going a straight line. Below 2 also is going a straight line. But at 2, it's totally uncertain, because it's 0 by 0. Then undefined.
Okay, sir.
That's why I represent with the empty circle. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's do the another limit now. If draw the figure 13.3 and write down the function f of x equal to 1 and 2 when x is less than or equal to 0 and x is greater than 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, so no.
Okay, yeah. Now this is the ethyl one. Now in the ethyl, you see that second carbon has a positive charge on it. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, as we discussed, in the hyperconjugation, what will happen? A carbon which has a double bond in it, which has a single bond with the hydrogen, that will get broken, and this carbon atom takes the electron from the hydrogen and forms the double bond with the another carbon atom. So because of that, hydrogen loses electron, it acquires a plus positive charge.
Okay.
Understood? Next, carbon forms a double bond. Other carbon atom also gets stabilized because everyone is in the tetravalency state. So it becomes a stable, correct? Now the question arises is this can happen to the only carbon atom which is, it can happen only to the CH bond which is on the top one? No. It can happen for the same CH bond can be with the side ones also. Third figure which you see, the H plus ions is for the second carbon, second hydrogen atom. Will it happen only for the second hydrogen atom? No, it can happen to the third hydrogen atom. So that's why they are in the resonance. So, but 3 CH bonds are there for the carbon atom. So any of the hydrogen atom can have the positive ions on that. Any of the bond can be broken between the 3 CH bonds. Understood?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Any of the CH can be broken. Any of the CH will get broken. But what will the result? All the carbon will share the tetravalency and the hydrogen will have the positive ions. Understood this part?
Yeah.
Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Now, hyperconjugation is also possible in the alkenes and the alkyl arynes also. How does it run? Now we'll try to find the stability now. Which is more stable now? Correct? Right on this part now. Secondary will be more stable than, tertiary is more stable than secondary to the primary, and then with the single one. Got it? Let's try it. Let's write it down now.
Okay.
Let's draw this figure now. Yeah, are you done, Tanisha?
Yes, sir.
13.3. Okay. In this case, look at this part. The function f of x is equal to 1 and f of x is equal to 2. So we have two values of f of x, isn't it?
Yes.
And we want to find the limit when the x tends to equal to 0. Now look at the figure from here. It will be very clear to you. When the x is less than equal to 0, the f of x value is 1. Correct?
Yeah.
So all the negative value of x, it's coming in the straight line. Can you see the below straight line, parallel line to x-axis on the 0, 1?
Yes, sir.
And then you have a dark circle there.
Yes, sir.
Dark circle means when x is equal to 0, f of x is equal to 1 only. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Next, after that, second function is f of x equal to 2 when the x is greater than 0.
Yes,
X
sir.
is greater than 0. Greater than 0 means it can be 0.1 also, it can be 0.2 also, it can be 1 also, it can be 2 also, it can be infinity also.
Okay, sir.
So, we have the empty circle on the top. Can you see from 0, 2?
Yes, sir.
That's-
Parallel to x-axis.
Yes, example parallel to y-axis. You have empty circle. Empty circle means for this value 2, where it has the
So
x.
the
Yeah. Correct. So basically what here we need to understand is when you come from the positive side of the 0, positive side of 0 is in the positive x-axis. So you're coming from that when x is equal to 0, you are reaching to the point called 0, 2. But when you're coming from the negative x-axis towards the 0, you are reaching to the point called 0, 1.
yes, sir.
So both have a distance of 1 unit between them. Both are not the same.
Yeah.
So limit extends so second line which you see, limit extends to 0 minus f of x is equal to 1. That means you are coming from the negative x-axis towards the 0. 0 minus means you are coming from the left hand side of the x-axis towards the 0.
Yes, sir.
Limit x tends to 0 plus means you are coming from the right hand side to the 0. So both
Yes.
values are different. When both the values are different, when you come from left hand side and the right hand side, then we can say the limit of this function at x equal to 0 does not exist because they are not the same. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right on this part. This
Yes,
thing is
sir.
important to understand.
So x 0 negative means that it's coming from the left hand side,
Yes.
and 0 positive is upwards.
Yes, so that's called left hand limit and 0 positive is called the right hand limit. Clear?
Okay.
Understood this part? Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Perfect. Now let's go to this part now. Illustration 1. Let's understand the illustration 1 now.
Yes, sir.
Read out the illustration 1 and no need to draw the figure table 13.4. Let's understand the table 13.4 based on the illustration 1. Then I'll explain to you. Yeah, Vijay, you've written the you have written the tertiary greater than secondary greater than the primary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now in this case what happening is, greater number of alkyl groups attached to positively charged carbon atom, greater is the hyperconjugation interaction and stabilization of the cation. What does it mean? See, in the first case, when you see carbon has a positive charge and the three methyl groups are connected to that carbon atom, correct?
Yeah.
So we know the methyl group, ethyl group, all the alkyl groups basically are the electron releasing groups. That's why they are called the electron releasing groups, because they can, immediately they can break one of the single bonds with the CH, and then they can form the double bond with the carbon atom and can make it stable. Understood?
Okay.
So
Yes, understood.
in the first case, C plus is supported by the three methyl groups. So any of the methyl group can provide the double bond to the carbon atom. So that becomes the most stable then. Any of the three possibilities are there to get the electron from any of the alkyl groups. So it's the most stable. In the second case, you have only two methyl groups to support. That will be less stable than the tertiary one. Similarly, primary has only one methyl group, so it will be less stable than compared to the unstable is the CH3, because it doesn't have any alkyl group to provide the electrons to it. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now let's go to the delocalization of the electrons by the hyperconjugation in the case of alkenes now. How does in the alkenes happen? Draw the figure 12.4b part now.
Okay.
Then we'll do the structure things. Structure things we'll do later. First you do the geometrical one. Delocalization of the electrons by the hyperconjugation in the case of alkene. Sorry. Tanisha, did you understand this part, illustration 1? What are we doing in the table 13.4?
So basically they're saying that when it comes from the left hand limit and right hand limit, the function is the same.
Excellent, you got it perfect. So basically what we are saying is, when you come from the left hand side and when you come from the right hand side towards the phi, what is the value of f of x? Which place the f of x is also reaching? So when you come from the from the left hand side, when you come to the phi, it will be 4.9, 4.99, 4.995 like that, and you come from the positive side of phi,
yes,
that means 5.001, 5.01, 5.0. So basically, if we just see, f of x is basically between the value which is closer to 5, we'll check that only. 14.995 and 15.00.
Yes, sir.
So they are very close to 15, no? Both are coming very close to 15.
Yes.
It's as good as you substitute the value of x as 5 and then you get the f of x as 15, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically what we are seeing is, what conclusion are we making is, when you come from the left hand side or you come from the right hand side, f of x is also coming to 15, only one value. It is not showing the different values.
Yes, sir.
So that means the limit of f of x when x equal to 5 exists. Understood? So
Yes,
how do you
sir.
represent
Yes,
it?
sir.
In the representation form of the limits, we say that the limit exists when we say limit left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to directly the value of 15, correct?
F of x.
Yes. Understood? Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Do the analysis of the illustration 2, table 13.5. Let's do table 13.5, similar thing, same thing only. Let's go to the table 13.5 and let's see the limit here for the f of x equal to x cube now. Okay, same thing. It will be self-explanatory. If in case anything which is not clear to you, let me know. I'll clarify. Then we can go to the illustration 3.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
क्या विजय बेटा?
Yes, sir.
So in 12.4b, we are showing the example with the propene now. Propene example. Propene means there is one carbon atom and there is a two carbon atom which has the double bond in between them. Right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, orbital diagram shows that when you have double bond, with carbon atoms, so what it shows now? So you have a CH3, CH and CH2. Correct? So you have a double bond between the first carbon atom and the second carbon atom. Can you see that? Now, and another CH3 alkyl group is present in the third carbon atom. Right?
Yeah.
Now, between the two carbon atom which has a double bond in that, we show that, we show in the three dotted lines here, and then we forms a double bond between we forms one more bond between the another carbon atom to another carbon atom, second and the third carbon atom. One minute. Yeah. Now in this case, we have the double. So basically, we can show that the double bond can switch. So from the first carbon atom to the second carbon atom, it can go to the second to third carbon atom also. With the same way, how it does by eliminating the H plus ions. You understood now?
Yes.
See, here we are just showing the p orbital between the first and second carbon atom. There is a double bond. Now the possibility is it can break and it can go to the second and third carbon atom by forming the p orbital with another bond in that part. Right? Draw the structure for this part. They will be more clear to you now. All the four structures you draw will be very clear to you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Tanisha, any questions, any doubts, Tanisha?
No, sir.
Excellent. Let's go to the illustration 3 now. Let's go to illustration 3. Same method, no difference. Let me know any questions, any doubts in the illustration 3. How to analyze? Go through the table and just check whether left hand limit is coming same as the right hand limit or not with the same value. If the value is same, it exists.
Okay, sir.
This is just similar to your relations and function, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So the value will be approximately to 6 in
Correct.
all the cases.
Yes, you got it. Excellent. Go to the illustration 4 now.
Sir.
Yeah.
Done.
Done. Okay, good. Now let's understand the hyperconjugation now. In this case, so in the propene structure, first structure which you have drawn in this is a normal structure. We have the double bond is there in the second and third carbon atom, right? When you count from the left hand side, or first and second from the left hand side, right? So double bond is there. Now in the case of hyperconjugation, what happens? Let's understand this part now. The methyl group is there in the third carbon atom, right? Methyl group is there in the third carbon. So basically the CH bond gets broken now. This carbon atom breaks the bond with the hydrogen, takes the electron and forms a double bond with another carbon atom. So H plus ions is free now. When it forms a double bond with this carbon atom, so double bond of this second and third carbon atom which is there, that is not required, that gets broken, and that electron will be occupied by the third carbon atom, so it has a lone pair of electrons, correct? And
Yeah.
develops a slight negative, it develops a negative charge, not slight, develops a negative charge. Understood? It develops this
Yes,
carbon
understood.
atom develops a negative charge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. So now this carbon atom develops a negative charge here, and this becomes the H plus ions. This is what you need to notice in this part. So this happens with the CH bond which got broken, and there is a double bond formation for the another carbon atom. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Next, does it happen to only the down hydrogen atom? No, it can happen to the other hydrogen atom also, because the CH bond is constant. It can be, it is common CH bond. This H bond also can be separately come out, and this will remain the same. Double, and the negative charge on the carbon atom will remain the same, irrespective of what? Irrespective of any of the hydrogen CH bond which is broken. Irrespective of any of the CH bond which gets broken, that remains the same. Does it happen for only down hydrogen atom? No. It can happen to any of the methyl CH bond, right now, and this will remain the same. Clear? So big again, this is the hyperconjugation is stabilized for the double bond also. Understood this part?
Yes, understood.
Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Excellent. So let's go to the problem 12.19, Vijay. Let's try to understand problem 12.19.
Yes, sir.
Let's see how do you do that. Tanisha, are you clear with this illustration 4?
Yes, sir. So I understand illustration 5.
Illustration 5 not understood. Okay, no problem. So it's x cube plus x. Now, what is x cube plus x when you,
So isn't it x square?
oh sorry, my mistake. X square plus x, sorry, my mistake. X square plus x. Now you come, we want to find the limit at x equal to 1. So you're coming from the left hand limit and the right hand limit. So what is showing you? So when you put 0.9, 0.99, 0.99 x value, the f of x is becoming
So 2.
1.997. So it is coming closer to 2.
Two.
So from here also closer to 2 only, right? So that means the limit
Yes, sir.
exists then, isn't it? So
Yes.
as per the graphical thing, it exists, because as per the table wise it exists. Clear? Now algebraically we have shown it down here. So basically this is a f of x is equal to x square plus x. This is a combination of two functions, x square and x. Correct? So what it means is you can apply
Yes,
the
sir.
limit on the both the algebraic functions separately also. Means when I say you can do the limit on the separate things also. Example, this is what it happens. It the same thing. Meaning is addition of the two limits separately on the function. So when we say limit x square plus x, you can apply the limit on x square also and separately plus sign with separate limit on the x also. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, any doubts? So this is not only for the addition, it can be done for subtraction also, it can be done for the multiplication also. This is what we are showing it for the multiplication also. Second one we are showing for the multiplication also. This is the, so applying of the limit is not limited to the only one function. It can be combination of function when we have the addition or the subtraction one. Clear? Or the division, anything you can apply. Multiplication. Okay, go to the illustration 6 now.
So pi by 2 is taken as 90 degree, right?
Yeah, pi by 2 is 90 degree, correct. So here whenever you have, they have given in terms of the illustration 6 only, yeah, by 90, correct, no problem. Yeah, Vijay. What's the answer?
I don't know how to do this one, sir. I didn't get this.
Oh, okay, you didn't get, fine. Explain why the CH3 whole thrice C plus is more stable than the CH3, C plus CH2 and C plus CH3 is the least stable cations. Okay, good. Now, we need to say, remember we discussed that in the first carbon atom, in the tertiary one, if we just see the figure of the tertiary one. So you want the figure of the tertiary one. If we see the figure of the tertiary one, this cation is stabilized by the 3 carbon atoms, isn't it? So any of the 3 methyl groups can break one of the CH bond and provide the electrons to the carbon atom. So it is more stabilized, right? Any of the methyl group can give the electrons to the this carbon atom, isn't it? So in why it is more stable? Because there are 3 methyl groups to support the carbon, for the cation. And for the CH3, CH2, it becomes the primary one. Only one methyl group is to support it. And in C plus H3 there is no methyl group to support it. So that's why it's unstable.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay, sir, yeah. Yes, sir, understood.
Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Clear? Tanisha, are you done with this part now? F of x is sin x now.
So we are done with this chapter, right?
What, Vijay?
We are done with this chapter right now.
Oh yeah, I think we are done, no? This is only till here only is right?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's fine. I think we are done with this chapter then. Oh good, cool. So this chapter finishes. So we can do this, I think the rest part is not part of your, they have deleted the portions, right?
Yeah, they will delete it.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So fine. So you can just take this exercise part as a homework and then we can discuss the doubt in that. But I want you to attend all the questions, leaving the deleted syllabus from that, and then we can discuss. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, chalo, I think let's close it down. We'll continue. Okay.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Yeah, Tanisha, any doubt, any questions in the illustration 6?
No.
Okay, so basically limit x tends to pi by 2, you come to, from left hand side and right hand side, so you come to the 1 only. Correct? That's what we are showing in the 13.8. Fine. Understood this part? Now, I want you to just do the illustration 7, 8 and 9, because I don't want you to miss even a single illustration in this part. So, and 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want you to do practice as part of homework. And in case if you are not getting it, let me know, because we can discuss and resolve it.
Okay, sir.
Got it? But let's try to give it. In the meantime, I'll just check. I have the applied maths book. Then I can send it to you. That one.
Okay, sir.
And you also try to get the applied maths book, the portion also. Then because some of the common section which chapters which already have for the commerce students, anyway I can teach those things for them. But rest, like some of the applied maths, some of the aptitude questions, and some of the questions which are not processed as a quantitative one, so that we need to discuss. We need to do from the applied maths book only. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sure. Fine. I think let's close
Okay,
it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. Welcome. Bye.